Imagine every single time you try and speak to someone, they like someone else.
Look, if you're not attractive, get money. That makes you sexy.
You can only do a first impression once.
Yeah. And I feel like lying to somebody and they finding out later, that shit hurts. There's a high level of masculinity having two women.
What do you mean by that?
I'm gonna explain.
This is another reason why I said I wasn't gonna call her. Because in my head I thought to myself, where you said it, where I could be now him in that situation.
I want to segue back to that, but the thing is, it's like, I find it interesting when Mike made the point about the resentment, because remember, sometimes in life I try to look at things from other people's points of view and perspectives, because I don't like to just be me. So even in the podcast, you might hear me, even though I'm like quite vocal in my opinions, I always try and say, yeah, but what if?
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting because it's kind of like, I've never looked at it from a dude's point of view that doesn't get girls. As in like how you see the world, because remember, like, imagine every single time you try and speak to someone, they like someone else. It's gonna,
That must be painful.
I don't agree with their methods and how they are, but it would weigh on you that every girl you want, you can't get.
See, my message to them is like this: I don't relate, but I'm an intelligent person, and I can observe a situation and identify a problem and fix the problem. And it's like, work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Work harder. Look, if you're not attractive, get money. That makes you sexy.
You know what's funny?
Get your money.
Like, I remember like seeing a clip of Kevin Samuels before, and he was like, oh, if you're a guy who's struggling to get women and blah, 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 he goes, you shouldn't be online watching everything for hours. He goes, go work 60 hours a week and come offline and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like,
let me tell you this, tell the fellas this, become intelligent. Women love a man with intellect. You know what I'm saying? Be funny.
be funny.
Be funny. You know what I'm saying? Just have some, go to the gym.
Put everything that
do all of these
puts you
things.
ahead. Like even down to little things where the other day I said to you, before we came out, I went to the dentist, to the hygienist. And every time I go there, the hygienist woman's always like, you come here 3 times a year. Like, I said to you, you only need to come once a year because you look after your teeth properly. I said, it's not about I need to come once a year. I said, the reason why I never have no issues with my teeth or all my wisdom teeth over there, I haven't got a chip, I goes, it's due to the frequency of me coming here. So she's like, yeah, but you still, like, every time I see you, you still floss daily and you do this and do that. And I said, I know what my main market likes to see. Like, I'm like, if you see all my pictures, my teeth is always fully showing. Like, I never hide my teeth, so I'm always smiling. So I'm like, I know that's my winning formula. So I said, that's my money maker. So I tried to keep that.
There's a saying, I can't remember who said it. I always hear sayings, I can't remember who says it, but there's one person who said that you can only do a first impression once.
Yeah.
So for example,
you only get one. What was it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't
one chance to make
yeah,
the first
so for example,
impression.
if I've seen Mike today for the first time, this is my impression of Mike. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you just think, you know what, I can't be bothered. I've seen you that one time and you're looking maybe a 6, 5 out of 10. That's gonna stay with me. You can dress up another day, but I'm like, first impressions count. So when you're going somewhere, for example, you don't know who you're gonna see. Yeah. So that might be the day that you see the girl that you want and you're looking dusty.
Bro.
What now?
I'll give you an example.
Now you have to be like, oh, shit,
what
today,
I said to you earlier about, in regards to gym attire, and I was saying to you that I can't wear a certain...
Oh yeah, you said, yeah.
Due to it doesn't fit my...
Yeah,
it doesn't fit my aesthetics. And it's not even me being funny with that. It's like, when I go to the gym, I probably got like over 100 pairs of tracksuits. I didn't realize they was piled up. So when I go to the gym, the man in my gym would always be like, oh, you come dressed proper, like, yeah, like your tracksuit matches, your kicks. I said, that's just me. And they're like, why? It goes back to what you just said. I said, sometimes I might come out the gym and I remember like, I was telling Shan, the person I said I was dating before, and she's a tiny bit older, and I said, rah, like for instance, yeah, like I realized this from back then, I've gone into her old workplace at the time, and I've rolled in there and I was dusty as hell.
Oh,
so I've
shit.
walked in, I've seen her, I've walked out, I've gone home. So I remember like when I actually was talking to her at that time, I said to her that, "Rah, I saw you one time, I was sweated out from the gym and I wasn't ready. So I said, first impressions, I didn't want you to see me like that. So I'd gone home, changed, showered, came back in, bought my fruit, bought what I needed to do and made sure I was on point. But from then I realized that, you could be slipping at any time. So if I come out the gym and someone's walking past and you see me and I smile straight away, you're gonna figure, he's come out the gym, he's looking, you know what I mean? So it's...
I want to talk to Mike about this whole what do you call it?
Polygamy, polyamory.
Okay, cool. So for example, like a lot of people in, I saw like a clip of some guy in like Iraq or something like that, and there was a white reporter, and it was like, they were laughing at the white guy, saying, you only have one wife. This brother was busting up. He was like top of his lungs. He's like, one wife. He's called all the other man them, yo, he only got one wife. These man are busting up, yo.
I know we're laughing as well, that's a funny thing.
But in the West, it's more, it's more frowned upon. It's actually against the law to get married to more than one person in the UK anyway.
Yeah, well, there's certain places you can.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to you, so like,
but it's not common.
how is it for you in terms of like, and how did you get to a space where you were saying to yourself, do you know what, I'm comfortable like this and I don't care who knows? 'Cause you know some people, like some man want to do that, you know, but they're like...
I actually have a friend and somebody, you know, that they have that kind of setup, but they don't put it out there.
Okay, cool.
And I get it, because listen, if a man is trying to live fully in his truth and he loves his woman and she's not 100% with it, but she loves him and she wants to allow that, but she feels embarrassed, don't put it out there. I'm not mad at that at all. It's all about being firm in your truth, you know what I'm saying? And speaking to your partner, like openly, honestly, what you want, what you expect, what she want, all of that stuff. And then moving forward with it, you know? It's not always easy, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, man, women's emotions are very complex, you know? And how we will be like, based on straight like logic and being practical and this is the rules and we said it, we agreed to it, boom, 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 boom. We have to listen to, and it's something I've been learning as of late, like to listen not to her words, but to watch her heart, to listen to what she's really saying, you know what I'm saying? So, and listen, I can't lie, like with my girl, it was her idea, you know what I'm saying? But there were certain times when she's saying, yeah, let's do this, but she's saying no. And here, you know what I'm saying? So these are things that a man has to be cognizant of and have that type of emotional intelligence to read those cues. You can't go by what they say all the time, you know what I mean? Now, as far as presenting it to other people, listen, like I said, I live in my truth. So when I'm out, like say we're on a date, I'm on a date with two girls. I remember going on a date with two girls with a good friend of mine and his wife. And they didn't know I was coming with two women. And, you know, we all had a good time. And the next day I met up with them for brunch, and his wife was like, I would have thought that was weird if you would have told me that in advance, but it seemed so cool, normal, loving, like it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? And people, like there has never been a woman that I've dealt with that I've talked about this with that wasn't down. Nobody. Now, there might be some objections out the gate. I don't like it. I'm not into that. I said, did it not work out for you? I've never done that. Then how would you know you don't like it? You're single now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing ain't working. You know, so, you know, you present it with love, with honesty. And here's the thing, like telling a woman that that's what you're into, that's what you want. Out the gate, you're gaining some trust. You're letting the walls down because you're being honest about that. Because the reality of it is here in America, not everybody, but most men who have options are exploring those options and not talking about it. They're lying about it, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like lying to somebody and they finding out later, that shit hurts. It's egregious, like that. I remember a girl, when I was young, lied to me about her age. And when I found out, I was like, who are you? Like, I was so distraught, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you really held up a lie that long, you know what I'm saying? So you know, men is having whole other families. You know what I'm saying? Or have a family and not telling, denying their wives.
I was gonna get to that topic.
Yeah.
So like before social media and all of that, for instance, the older African generation was notorious for that, where they could have one family here in one state, one in America, one, you know what I mean? They could have multiple places, and they'll exactly, you know what I mean? Like for instance, like my granddad had 8 women, so literally with my family, I could see the divide where my cousins, who we all share the same grandma, we're closer to each other. My other cousins, I'm not as close to them. And it's not by choice, it's due to when the war happened, their mums took their kids and went off. And my mum, my auntie that raised me over here, and my uncle, he's done well for himself, like he was like an ex-politician, etc. They were like literally like those street kids that you see like on the roadside selling things to survive. Then their uncle from a different state came and got them and literally raised them for a tiny bit. Then they just all kind of flourished by themselves. So they formed like their own little clique where they were always together, etc., etc. And they were like not far off age, while some of their siblings who their mums took them away are like a 10, 15-year gap. So the separation happened from that. So some of my cousins are slightly older than me, and they don't understand why I'm closer to these ones. But I'm like, if my mum, my uncle, and my aunt always hanging together, these are the people that I always see all the time. Even though I know you and your whole family, I wasn't around you to the same intensity I was around them. So I remember, like for instance, when I moved to the UK, a few of my cousins they had like, why always him? And my aunt was like, this is my sister's son. My aunt and my mum were like best friends. So she was like, it had to be him. Because, you know, like the others, sister. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it was a thing that I originally went there on holiday. But I've asked her, I said, like, I've gone on holiday. I literally, my uncle, who's their younger brother, he was like, he would always send his kids on holiday, whether one year they'll choose England, the next year they'll choose America. That year happened to be England. So if it was the American year, I would have probably ended up here with my other aunt. So what's happened now is they've come out to England. Then before they've come out to England, my uncle has said, oh, you've done good in your year 6 exams before secondary school. So he's like, as a treat for you doing real good in school, I'm going to pay for you to go on holiday with my kids. So I've come over. Then on the last couple of days, I said to my aunt, I don't want to go back. And she was like, oh, when you were 6 originally, you were meant to come out here. So when they moved to England, she was going to adopt me and take me out there. But my little brother was born at the time. So she said to me, ask my husband, then if he says cool, ask your mum. So I've asked her husband, and he was like, yeah, you could stay here. So we phoned my mum and I said, oh, mum, I'm not coming back. And she was like, okay. No, she was like, okay. She was like, you said it from young that you're going to live in UK. And that was that. I ended up being in UK ever since. Then, like, fast forward now, remember I said after the funeral, like, I said, it's not like, it's never going to be like that. And my cousin, who her mum is the one who raised me, she moved to Africa. She moved back to Africa like 12 years ago. Me and her like super close. And my other cousins are like, they feel a certain way, like, why is he always looking after her? And I was like, in my time of need, she was there. When I was little and moved to England, she sacrificed a lot of things, like where she'll go work hours when she was like 18, she'll buy me clothes and all of that to make sure that I never got laughed at in school. So to make sure that I always had the latest kicks and stuff like that. So I'm like, she done that back then, she done that when I'm older. So I always feel like I could do this and more for her, while the rest of them, when that incident's happened, they've kind of gone.
Yo, so to touch on like the whole polygamy thing, this is what people don't know, like especially here, because we live in a bubble. Yeah. Polygamy is very common around the world, right? In Africa, in Asia, parts of Eastern Europe, Middle East, right? So like I lived in the Middle East and it's very normal, right? It's not like you know, if a man wants to take on multiple wives, and they're okay with it, it's fine. If a man wants one wife, it's fine. You know, people.
Do you think it's affected by status?
Status?
Yeah.
Well, a man has to be able to afford.
Yeah.
Like in the Quran and Islam, your wives have to have the same type of housing, car. You can't have one with a Benz and one with a Toyota.
You got to love them equally as well.
Correct. So, and in certain countries, when you marry another local, if you marry two, let's say we live in the Emirates and I have 3 Emirati wives, we getting way more money than if I have one Emirati wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They pay, like the government kind of helps with that because there is a thing in the world, I don't know what it's called, but it's a thing where there's more women born or girls born than boys, right? And then you have a situation, I can speak of here in the United States where there's a couple million more women in this country than men. That's a lot of people, right? Then you have a situation to where there's more available women than available men because we go to prison, we go to military, we die, we have shorter life expectancies. There's a lot of gay men, right? Take all of them out the equation, it's a shorter pool of men, right? And women have no problem getting men. They're the gatekeepers. Men, most men don't have access to women because they're not successful enough, they're not good looking enough, whatever it is. There's a lot of men who don't have access to women.
And the guys
So
that do have access,
they have all of them, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a huge imbalance. I'm not saying that the society needs to be everyone polygamous because so many men would never, ever, ever touch a woman. You know what I'm saying? Think about how they is in China. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's huge issues. So, you know, it's about like just balance or whatever. And I just live in my world. I'm not trying to solve society's issues. I've been in situations where I felt like polygamy was appropriate. You know, others where I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And I can say this, like I'll probably moving forward not go the polygamy route because of the complexities of emotions, right? And I love hard, and I don't want to hurt someone that I love, and you know, not realize I'm hurting them. You know what I'm saying? So, and one woman is enough for me. You know.
That's what I was gonna say. Like in regards to that, also knowing the previous generations out in Africa and seeing how it's affected their generations. And the kids and that, I can never go down that route because I just know that, like you said, people's emotions is at play, and I don't want to have to choose who, you know what I mean?
For me, I'm trying to just figure out what is the main desire to do it. Yeah. Now, like, so I want to establish what that is. Like, do you want to love 2 women, or 3 women, or 4 women? Do you want to? Do you want to?
I feel like it will take up too much energy.
Do you want to be a responsible partner for 4 women? It can be difficult enough with one, but I don't want to say relationships are difficult because they're not. They're friggin' enjoyable and they're friggin' amazing. And they're amazing from my experience with that one person, and there's a lot that encompasses that relationship. Do I want to now spread that out and dilute it with more? Do I have the energy? Do I have the capacity to love that? Like, what is the desire? Is there any other desire apart from the, give me the term, you know what? Yeah. Is there any other than that?
Even Mike,
as a man, let me just finish this. Am I saying, yeah, I really want to love 2 women. I've got enough, 3. I want 3. I've got so much love, I can love 3. I want to love them. Forget the sex. I want to love 3 women. If that's not it, then it's I want 3 women. Like I want to enjoy.
I got a question for you. I got a question for you down to this, even down to the smallest thing. Let's say you got a car. Who sits in the front?
I don't think people care about that.
No, you'd be surprised. Them little things might trigger someone.
Listen.
That little thing might trigger someone.
No, it's not. Like, you on a higher level of understanding when you're in that situation, you know? And my girl, I got a Maybach, and we riding in the back, right? There's been times when my girl would tell my other girl to sit on my lap, and my girl sits here. You know what I'm saying? She knows that, you know, she got me. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, that's not it.
Yeah.
You don't treat nobody like that. Like, just sit in the back. Get out. You know what I'm saying? It's not the vibe. But I'll tell you this, Sim. It's to be honest, for me, it's not something that's necessary, right? But when it's presented, it's like, you know, it is a high level of masculinity having two women.
What do you mean by that?
I'm gonna explain. It's a high level of raw masculinity, and they're in a very feminine position, but it's a low level of humanity. It's a low level. I can speak from my experience. For me, it was low level Mike Rashid. You know what I'm saying? It was the same energy or the same Mike Rashid that was out there in the streets being a menace. The same Mike Rashid that had a problem with somebody, they're moving out the state. And so, or terrorize them, you know what I'm saying? So it was that same vehement energy in a sexual capacity. Like I'm ferocious. Both of y'all, shut up. Ask her if you could have me. I was literally that guy, you know what I'm saying? And seeing my girl enjoying that, enjoying me making her be submissive to her. But that shit is not cool.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That's still sexual.
That's sexual, yeah.
So what I'm saying but when people like, because there's that, I'm dating two women.
Listen, I got
but then you mentioned,
what
was it, from Iran, whatever?
Yeah, the wives. Yeah.
That's wives.
I
So
have more context
what makes
for
them
you.
want to marry three
Hold
women?
on, I have
and-
more context for you. I'm with both of my women, right? And it's one of them's birthday or something coming up. Or maybe it's Christmas, I don't know. And she wants Dior. I'm like, are you serious? What? Nah, pick something else. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the other one, I'm just saying, like, I'm just being honest with what's fair. I'll buy anything. Rolex, diamonds, motorcycle, whatever.
So there was a hierarchy.
So, yeah, 100%. And I would be lying if I said it wasn't. You know what I mean? And it was like one kind of was supplemental. Like, there's no way I'll be with you alone. So don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my truth. You know what I mean? So, and I can't see the way I love so fucking hard. I can't see me splitting that level
That's
of
what I'm
love
getting
with
at.
somebody else.
That's what I'm getting. I'm trying to understand
Yeah.
if there is like someone out there that's, I want to be
Now,
polyamorous because I really want to love two
But here's
women
the thing.
or three women.
Here's the thing. So, you know, there's more to it though, because sometimes the woman is into women. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not just all about the guy. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's
Still
funny.
sexual. I'm trying to get past the sexual part.
But you know,
But no. It's
I've got
companionship.
something to the way you just said just now.
No, part of what I enjoyed was like hanging out with two women. We all hanging out, we traveling, you know what I'm saying? So it's not all sexual, you know? And matter of fact, the sexual side is not, listen, I've had.
Oh, sorry, but then there was the ego side as well, because you said it,
100,
masculinity.
Yes.
So,
It was a lot of
but I'm
ego.
looking for pure things.
Pure things?
Yeah, I'm looking for love.
Oh,
So-
well, you
And you said
spend enough
that
time
you
with
loved
somebody.
A,
Yeah.
and B was supplementary.
Correct. That's my situation. I can't speak on everybody's. Now, remember this, guys. Like let's say in Africa, in the Middle East, when there used to be times, especially in Africa, where a woman had a bunch of men.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, still in certain tribes.
All 8 of these guys is this kid's father. And he had a greater chance of survival because he had more support. It's all about a person's perspective or a society's perspective on love. You know, this is just ours here in the West. Like, we have a very specific perspective on love, and it has a lot to do with empathy and compassion. You know what I'm saying? Not just the most practical shit, like how many babies can I pump out? You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we're programmed. We're programmed for novelty. You know what I'm saying? But we're far above that as a society,
You
as a
said
people.
something about, she might like women, and I've heard some women say before that they will have a threesome with a guy and his girl, but in regards to the person they like, they'll never have a threesome.
But I get it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll never have a threesome.
Maybe a bit too much information
Yeah,
there, but
they don't want to share someone. They don't want to share someone they love.
But
basically,
I've had girls
Yeah.
say to me,
Yeah.
I would have a threesome, but
Not with you.
if I had one with you, I'll get jealous. I'm not having it with you. And I'm like, I hear you, thank you for that. What do you mean by that? If you don't know what I'm asking.
But I'll say this too, though. I'll say this too. I've had menages in damn near every relationship I've been in, and you love a woman hard enough and make her feel safe and comfortable, and they'll give in to that. They'll do it.
Do you know what I wanted to say to you as well? So, you made a point where you said you in some of these relationships was kind of like a low level. I can't remember the term you used, but
a low level version of myself.
Okay, level. But as you've grown as a man, for example, you said that you've used examples where you've said kind of like, ask her if I can have permission, but so on and so forth. But as you've grown as Mike Rashid and you've learned to be more in touch with your feelings in terms of more respectful, whatever, could this relationship with two women grow where it's not low level Mike Rashid, it's high level Mike Rashid?
It can.
But with two women, because I totally understand.
Just being in my truth, I think it can. But am I willing to do that kind of work? I don't think so.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But when you're saying that kind of work, it's kind of like, is it work if it's you now? Does that make sense? For example, like, you know, like if you're...
Well, that answers the question. Yeah. It's not, because I have to concentrate. It's like you wouldn't, well, you don't have to concentrate in a relationship to do the right thing.
Okay.
Or whatever you feel is the right thing, because that's subjective, isn't it? But if you do, then that's work. Okay. And it might not, like, there's a reason why it's not coming naturally.
Yeah. And I think it's true, man, because I think even there's times where women kind of are with guys because it's like a project, and a lady might say to a guy, I want to be with you, and he's like, nah, I don't want to settle down right now. And she'll be like, cool. And she'll stick around because she's hoping one day maybe you come around and make her the missus. But ultimately in that situation, her waiting, if you don't choose her, she's heartbroken. Do you know what I'm saying? And you as a guy,
that's why I say, man, it's important for us, especially like me, like being in a position, or us, where people listen to us, to try to guide dudes properly. Because, listen, man, like a dude of stature, certain people, you know, we meet women and they're just in awe. You know what I'm saying? They know they're in the presence of something different. It sucks out there for women. You know what I'm saying? The dating scene. So we can't take that shit for granted. You know what I'm saying? So and it weakens our power if we just like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna just treat her like whatever. Next, on to the next. It weakens us. So it's important for us to like have a high level of respect for women. And like, you know, I talked about it on the podcast, the polygamy, and my women, they talked about it, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a weird fucking pimp vibe or whatever. So I don't want guys thinking like, yo, I gotta be like, a lot of dudes was hitting me up like, how do I do it? I'm like, bro, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And plus, like, I'm in a different position than you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can afford two women. Like, can you afford them? Like, because and that sounds bad, but like, can you afford to take care of these women? But you should at least be able to do that. Give them that. Make them comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Not have to stress out about bills or money or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like, yeah, y'all just give me what I want, my pleasure, my whatever. Like, nah, I gotta give y'all, because in a relationship, you know, a man has to vibrate his woman. You know what I'm saying? He has to have his orbits in his planet spinning in orbit properly. So it's not like I don't look at a relationship like, yeah, I'm the man, so you just love me. Nah, I gotta provide things for you, provide love for you, provide like guidance for you, provide security for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I want anybody listen to me, follow me. I want them to think, because that's more sustainable, right? And we owe it to them. We owe it to women, man. We be driving women crazy. When dudes be like, oh, man, she fucking crazy. Like, shut the fuck up. Because of you, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know that shit. And if a woman, because men typically control the temperature of a relationship. So if your woman controls the temperature, okay, that's different. That's unique. You know what I'm saying? But that's usually not the case.